make some cards and you're just lacking in inspiration? If that's the case, a card sketch is the perfect thing to pick up when you need some inspiration to start creating. So a card sketch is going to give you the measurements of what to create, and all you need to do is choose the papers and the stamps that you want to fit into the measurements. So the card sketch I want to share with you today is one that my Stampin' Up! Team members did recently. We do a monthly card making challenge, and my teammate Tanya Swink shared this with me. So I want to share it with you today with some beautiful designer papers and stamps that I used on them. So here are the samples I've created using today's card sketch. First, I want to show you the designer papers I've used to create these, because I just decided to create with this gorgeous new designer paper that we have. And then I'm going to show you the measurements. We'll create one of these cards, and at the end I want to show you a quick tip for how to decorate the insides of your cards. So let me show you these up close really quick, and then we'll look at that designer paper just a second. When I move these in the light, you can see those gold highlights on them, and this paper is just so beautiful. I knew if I used this paper on these cards that they would just be absolutely gorgeous without me putting hardly any effort into them at all. So let me pull in that paper. This pack is called Expressions in Ink. And here you can see the prints on one side. So I'll move them in the light so you can appreciate those gold highlights. This, you know, it's hard to pick a favorite. I tell myself this one is my favorite, and then I see this one with the flowers. I'm like, oh my gosh, that one's my favorite. Oh, but I like this pink. I don't know. I love all of them. Now I'll flip them over, and the back side doesn't have the gold accents, but the back side is beautiful as well. And I did use some of these prints on these cards as well. Now let me give you the measurements, and I'm going to give you two sets of measurements. One is the basic measurements. If you want to create the really simple cards with just the 3 panels and a sentiment, I'll give you those measurements. Then if you want to add in the mats behind these panels, and then a mat in the background of your card and a mat for your sentiment, I'll give you those measurements as well. So your card base needs to measure 5.5 by 8.5. These panels each measure 1 1/2 inches by 3 5/8 inches. So you need 3 of those. The sentiment strip measures 3/4 of an inch by 3 3/4 of an inch. Then if you want to add in the mats, you will need, for the background, the mat in the background measures 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. The mats for each of these panels measure 1 5/8 inch by 3 3/4 inch. And then the mat for the sentiment measures 7/8 of an inch by 3 7/8 of an inch. So let me pull in the pieces for one of these. Now I've already created, I have my card base ready here. I have the panels cut, and this one that we're going to do right now is just a very basic one. So I'm going to flip these over to the back, put some adhesive on, and show you my trick for getting even spacing on these. Now I'm using my seal adhesive, but I will mention this. You may find that you like to use glue for this, because when you lay it down, it will give you a little bit of wiggle room. So our Tombow glue is really nice if you like to be able to adjust things a little bit. So what I'm going to do is put one of these on either the left or right side, and I want to lay it so that the spacing on each side is about the same as the spacing on the top or on the side, depending on how you're looking at this. Now I'll flip it around to the other side, and I want to do the same thing with even spacing on all 3 sides of it, or that even border on all 3 sides. Now I always do the left and right ones first, and then leave that one in the center for the end. This way I can move this one back and forth depending on what the other ones look like to try to get an even gap on each side, okay? So when you look at that, that is pretty good spacing. Now I've already prepared my sentiment, and I did prepare this one with a mat. It says, "Let's celebrate you." And if you look at my samples, I have moved around where I put that sentiment strip. Those 2 are in the bottom center. This one I pushed off to the left side. Here I put this one right in the center. This one is bottom right. It just was whatever I felt like at the moment, because I think all of them look nice. So I'll put that one right there in the center. I will mention the sentiments I chose for these cards came from the Celebrate Sunflowers and Lovely You stamp sets, which both have really nice greetings in them. Now, I do want to add a few of the gems. If you look at these, see these beautiful gold gems on them? Those are some gilded gems, and they coordinate just beautifully with this designer paper. So I'll grab a few of these gems. I take your pick tool. We'll pick up a few of these, and then I want to show you that quick tip for decorating the inside of your cards. So this tip is very simple, but I think very effective. So if you are using designer paper on the front of your card, the tip is just add another strip to the inside. So this strip measures 1/2 inch by 5.5 inches. I've already put my white piece on the inside, and I haven't stamped anything because with the sentiment on the outside, I don't know if I'm going to use this for birthday or maybe one of my team members to congratulate them on something. So I'm going to leave the inside blank for now, but if you just add a strip of that designer paper to the inside, makes it all coordinate and look really nice and beautiful that way. So I hope you've enjoyed these cards with that expressions of ink designer paper. I hope you like this card sketch. If you create some of these, I would love to see some pictures, so send them my way. Thanks for joining in. You can find links to the products I've used today in the video description below. You can find a link to visit my blog and get more ideas and inspiration there. So thanks for visiting. I hope you have a wonderful day. I will see you again next time when I am back helping you to hand make with love.